The President and CEO of Wood Mackenzie is with me now, Neal Anderson. Thank you so much for taking the time. Talk to me about what you think the industry should be looking at when they're looking at a new year, a new decade. What's going on at the minute and what's the key focus?
Sure, it's always a question like that. It's always short, medium and long term. Short term, what's happening in the geopolitics in the Gulf and what impact that's going to have on oil price. Maybe more medium term, what's going to happen with US tight oil production. Is it going to continue to grow? Is it going to flatten? Has it peaked? And then again, what's the impact on oil price? And then of course longer term is the energy transition. What's going to happen with that? Is there such a thing as peak oil demand?
When we look at that energy transition, there seems to be almost two sides of the argument now. It's not black and white. And I think we're becoming to maybe converge a little bit whereby everybody has to be talking about this. But I think there are some people out there that think this is going to be a much quicker, smoother ride, and it probably is going to take a bit longer than some people anticipate. What do you say?
Yeah, well, I think the whole thing about the energy transition, the first thing about it is it's happening today. It's not 5, 10, 15, 20 years out. We're seeing changes happen today. And then the second thing is there's a real polarization in the debate between, on the right side, it's renewables and we're zero carbon, we're the good guys. On the left side, you folks in the oil and gas industry are the bad guys because you're emissions and you're the polluters. One thing we know about the energy transition, it's global, it's complex and it's huge. And you know what? It's going to take all of us to solve. It's not a renewables simply answer, or it's not an oil and gas, it's all of us together. And as we talked about at the conference today, I think the oil and gas industry is beautifully positioned to actually help address this. We have the balance sheet, we have the R&D experience, and we know how to solve big complex problems.
But this one big complex problem also comes with perhaps a big complex narrative. And when you look at the industry and you look at investment at the moment, and that has to shift. What can the industry do to actually, change perception in many ways?
Well, the challenge thing with it here in the oil business is when the oil business is talking about climate change, the vast majority of people just turn off. Here's the industry talking up its own business, its own book, if you will. So we need to find other avenues where we can get across our views and opinions that we're actually part of the solution, not the problem. And I think the way we do this is have an engaging debate as to what's happening. Do people understand what energy does for them today? We had a great panel discussion earlier when we talked about how basic a human right energy access is and how important it is for folks. But we all acknowledge that we have to do it differently. Now, we in the business always prided ourselves on relatively cheap, reliable and accessible energy for over a century. The other bit that we now need to add is sustainable and be in the vanguard of having that debate with folks.
Now, this is the first time IPTC has come here to Saudi Arabia, and of course they're all delighted. They put a lot of time and effort and energy into this. They've delivered a great conference and exhibition here. How important is it too that the focus perhaps is on Saudi Arabia? And well done to them. They've got it for 2 more years down the road.
They have. Well, first of all credit to the kingdom and all credit to the host Saudi Aramco. They have done a phenomenal job here at the conference. And I think it's really, really important. When we talk about the industry, obviously the Middle East is one of the largest sources of resources of oil and gas, but also what people I don't think understand here is how Saudi Aramco are very much in the vanguard of thinking about the energy transition and thinking about what it means and really putting hard dollars behind that, which is exactly what we all need to do in the industry.